Sultan of SWAT, the King of Crash, Jid, Bam, the Colossus of Clout, Jack Dunn's Babe. I bet you're wondering who all these people are. They're all nicknames for me, George Herman Ruth Jr. And I got these nicknames while playing the greatest game in the world, baseball. In fact, the only real game in the world is baseball. I got my nickname, the Sultan of SWAT, on a hot day on July 19th, 1920, when I belted out my 13th home run, and by the end of the season, I hit 54 home runs, crushing my previous record. I bet you're wondering how it got started for me at baseball. Ironically, one of the worst days of my life turned out to be the start of it all. When I was born in Baltimore, Maryland in the late 1800s and was the oldest of 8 children. Sadly, only me and my sister Mammy survived to adulthood because my family could not afford medicine. By the age of 6, I was chewing tobacco, swearing, stealing, and playing baseball on the roads. When we played baseball on the roads, the cart drivers would whip us to move, and then we would retaliate by throwing rotten eggs at them. And then the cops would come, and then they would scold us and send us back to school. Man, I hated those coppers. Then the day came that changed my life forever. I turned 7, and my dad took me to St. Mary's Industrial School for Boys, which was an orphanage run by Catholic monks and a reformatory school. It was like a prison there. I cried every night for a long time, but I adjusted. Since there was 800 boys at the school, there had to be something to do besides learning, and that was baseball. The person who mentored me the most in baseball was Brother Matthias. He was a role model and a father figure to me. He was the greatest man I ever knew. He knew Jack Dunn, the owner of the Baltimore Orioles, and asked him to come and watch me play. He must have thought I was pretty good, because after only watching an hour of me play, he gave me a contract to the Baltimore Orioles. When I showed up at spring training camp that year, I was the youngest player there, and everybody gave me the nickname Jack's Babe, and that's how I got the nickname Babe Ruth, and it stuck from there. After only being on the Orioles 5 months, I got moved up to the Boston Red Sox, and I was the starting pitcher. With the Boston Red Sox, I had 94 wins and 46 losses. And then I got traded to the New York Yankees for a contract of $100,000. Before I got to the Yankees, they hadn't won any title, and they didn't even have their own stadium. They played on the New York Giants Polo Ground. But that all changed when I got there. They built a stadium, and with the Yankees, and I was the first person to hit a home run in that stadium. That's why they called it the stadium that Ruth built. While with the Yankees, we won 7 pennants, 4 World Series, and I had 60 home runs in a season. My most memorable home run was in the 1932 World Series against the Chicago Cubs. It was the 5th inning, and we were tied 5-5, and the count was 3-2, and the pitcher was Charlie Root. I smiled at him, and I looked, and I pointed to the center field wall. And when he pitched it, I swung with all my might, and I hit the ball very far, and it was the longest home run ever hit in Wrigley Field. We won the World Series that year, and now I've just retired from playing baseball, and I'm hoping to become a manager of a major league team. I hope I have earned all my nicknames, and I hope I have inspired people to love the game of baseball and inspired them to do their very best. Because I will not be happy until every boy in America is swinging a bat and has a glove in their hand. Because baseball was, is, and always will be the greatest game in the world.